Started about the we'll just take a small recap of the previous session. Okay, so in that session we have started about the topic number 3, unit number 3, that is my solar and biomass, and we have started the discussion regarding the what is the importance of solar energy in our day-to-day life. uh, it is so important that our existence, the human being exists just because of the solar energy. If there is no sun power, solar power, we can't expect the life on the earth over here. Okay, so that is that much important. Now from the decades or from centuries or from the time, uh, so from a long time, the human being is trying to find out the solution how to just utilize this solar energy so that I can just do my day-to-day activities. Okay, and now from the 19th century, or almost from the 17th century onwards, we are using the solar power for different activities or for different things. Now, as the evolution of, say, during the second industrial evolution, with the invention of the electricity, the human beings are trying to find out the various ways so that the machines can be get automated and all these things. So one method is that by giving the electrical energy, we can just convert electrical energy into mechanical energy. Okay, and with that mechanical energy I can just give the power to my machines. But what happened over the period of time, the electrical energy sources, means the sources we use for generating the electricity, are depleting at very say speed, with high rate. So now what happened, we are totally dependent on, in the earlier days we are totally dependent on the fossil fuels, that may be coal, that may be petroleum product, that may be gases. But over the period of time, these resources of these petroleum products are going to be depleted, and we need to find out the alternate sources of energy by which I can generate the electrical energy. So those sources of energy which will last forever, as compared to the life of the human being, those sources of energy are called as the renewable sources of energy. And one source, renewable source of energy is like, that is my sun. Okay, because of this sun, my life on the earth is possible. Even when you're going to say the wind also flow because of sun only. Okay, what is the reason for blowing of the winds or flow of the winds? Okay, so just because of the temperature difference is there, then only the flow of wind is possible, air circulation is there. If there is no temperature difference, it is not possible for you to just circulate the air over here. Now wind is just because of sun. In the same manner, water is there. Okay, monsoon is there, rain cycle is there, water cycle is there. Why water cycle is there? Water cycle is there also because of the sun. Now this sun causes the evaporation of the water, and the water get evaporated, it will just go upwards, may form the clouds where it is going to be condensed and then fall on the earth in the form of water droplets. Okay, or in the form of ice. So this is the water cycle, and that is just because of the sun. So somehow we are totally dependent on the sun. Now what you are going to study in this chapter, we are trying to find out how to use the sun energy. So I can just convert my solar energy into electrical energy either directly or indirectly. So solar energy can be converted into electrical energy in two manners. Either there is a direct conversion or there may be a indirect conversion. So what is going to be happen in the direct conversion? So when you are going to use the direct conversion of solar energy, just wait. What is the problem you are facing? I have received one message from one student. Okay, so yes, problems open with my browser, Zoom, something preparing it. No, no. You're say you're supposed to join the session with LMS. Some students are still try to join the session with the Zoom. Okay, so this session is on LMS. Now just circulate that my message in the group. Now, if you are going to discuss what is the potential of solar energy in India, so if you are going to discuss the Indian scenario, India is the fast developing industry. Okay, So this country's solar installed capacity reached nearly 35.12 gigawatts by 30 June 2020. These are the latest figures. 35.12 gigawatt is the solar energy generation in India. India has the lowest capital cost per megawatt globally of the installed solar power plant. Okay, and if you are going to compare the per megawatt cost of installation, India has the least cost of installation overall the globe with 300 clear and sunny days in the year. When you are going to consider the say season of India, we have three seasons: monsoon, winter and summer. So if you are going to just remove the 50 60 days of 65 days of monsoon, nearly 300 days out of 365 days, 300 days we are getting the clear and sunny days. Okay, and then with the calculated solar incident on the Indian land is nearly 5000 trillion kilowatt per hour. So almost we are going to receive 5000 trillion kilowatt per hour. Okay, so this is the tremendous energy that we are going to receive on the in our Indian land. The solar energy available in a single year exceeds the possible energy output of all the fossil fuels energy reserve in India. So whatever the energy that we are going to receive over year, so that is my much more than the require energy. Okay, the daily average solar power plant generation capacity of India is zero point 0.2 kilowatt hour per meter square of the used land, equivalent to the 1400 to 1800 peak rated capacity operating hours in the years with available commercially proven technology. So when you are going to summarize, we can summarize that we have about 5000 trillion kilowatt hour per energy that is incident on my land. Okay, out of this nearly 4 to 7 kilowatt per hours per square meter I can just easily convert. So this is the converting, even a small part. If you are going to see the picture of Indian map, sorry, this is the Indian map. So this yellow color represent where I can easily install my solar power plant. So nearly 95% of the Indian land, 90 to 95% of the Indian land is available for installation of the solar power plant. Okay, so that may be your direct or indirect. We are going to discuss both of this. Now, in the last lecture, we have also discussed the solar constant over there. What is meant by solar constant? Solar constant is the total energy that falls on the unit area exposed normally to the rays of sun at an average solar distance. Okay, and this most acceptable value is 1.535 kilowatt per meter square. But because of some reasons, that may be scattering or that may be absorption, we are whatever the actual we are solar constant that we are going to receive is nearly 1 kilowatt per meter square. This is the actual value we are getting over here. The heat flux reaches the earth's surface by two modes, that may be direct or that may be diffuse. Okay, so it is only the direct heat energy which can be collected through the collector. So for collecting the solar energy we cannot directly use the solar energy. जे काही सूर्यप्रकाश आपल्या पृथ्वीवर येत आहे किंवा आपल्या शेजारी येते आजूबाजूला पडतोय तो मी डायरेक्टली कलेक्ट कन्वर्ट नाही करू शकत, मला तो कलेक्ट करावा लागेल. अँड फॉर कलेक्टिंग दॅट सोलर एनर्जी आय नीड द कलेक्टर्स. Based on that, the collectors are classified into two types. That collector may be flat plate collector or that may be concentrated collectors. So concentrated collectors are again categorized into 3 to 4 types that we are going to discuss later. Okay, so I need a collector. Collector means a material which will absorb the solar radiations, which will collect the solar radiations over there. The ratio of direct to total heat energy varies from place to place. Okay, and that depends on the atmospheric condition like dust, smoke, water vapor, and other suspended matter. Different investigation have suggested values between 0.64 to 0.88 for this ratio. Okay, since the altitude of the sun and length of the day vary with the season, the solar energy received on summer day is many times the energy received on winter day. As a result of total energy of the most of the areas in the plain of India is around 6000 megajoule per meter square per year. Okay, so now this is the things what happen, whatever the solar radiations which are falling on the earth surface or our Indian land will vary from location to location. Near the equator I will get maximum energy, and as we go away from the equator the energy will decreases, solar radiations will decreases. Again the angle, incident angle of the solar radiation will change. Okay, so during say when you are going to say at the time of Uttarayan or Dakshinayan. Okay, the rays which are falling on the earth, they are going to change. Okay, so in that case, the whatever the energy that we are going to receive is different. During morning, we are getting the solar radiations falls on the earth surface with the inclination, but at the evening they will fall straight. So during the afternoon I will generate the maximum energy, and as we will move from, say, the best times are from 11 to 4 p.m. Okay, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. At these times I will receive generate the maximum solar energy from the, so maximum electrical energy, or I can capture on the maximum solar energy during that time. So now what is the flat plate collector? The first type of the solar energy utilization is the collection of this energy. As we already discussed, I cannot directly use my solar radiations. I need to collect them first. Okay, and how to collect them? So there are different methods for collecting the solar energy. Okay, so based on that, there may be flat plate collector or the concentrated collector. This is done through the collector whose surface are designed for high absorptivity and low emissivity. Now, what is meant by absorptivity? Absorptivity means what is the rate of absorption. Okay, so if 100% falls on that solar collector, then how much energy is going to be absorbed? Okay, so this energy, if I want to collect, then whatever the material I have to select, that must have the high absorptivity. So basically, if you have studied the black body in physics, okay, so black body have the highest absorption. Okay, and white color has the lowest absorption. So white color will reflect maximum energy and black color will absorb maximum energy, it will soak maximum energy. So we need to use the material, we need to select the material which will have the high absorptivity and low emissivity. So flat plate collector is a device used to collect solar energy to transform it into thermal energy. Okay, so flat plate collector does not directly converts my solar energy into electrical energy. They will just converts. They will just collect those solar radiations and they will transfer that solar radiations into the heat energy or thermal energy by using water as a working fluid. It is the heart of the solar thermal device that has many applications in the medium temperature range, that is nearly 100 degrees centigrade. So some flat plate collectors can give the temperature up to 170 degree also, but normally these flat plate collectors will use for the temperature up to 100 degrees centigrade, means for domestic heating, or that may be used for the preheating for the industrial sectors. This example of this lateral collector is a solar water system, which is installed at the rooftop of, which is installed at certain domestic or in your home also. Okay, solar water heating system, that can be the best example of this flat plate collectors. The solar flat plate collectors typically consist of large heat absorbing plate. If you are going to observe what is the solar flat plate collector, it consists of the large heat absorbing plate, usually a large sheet of copper or aluminum, as they both are good conductor of heat, which is painted or chemically etched black to absorb as much as solar radiation as possible for maximum efficiency. And if you are going to observe this, whatever the solar cell or this you are going to observe, okay, they are painted. Basically, these are copper or aluminum, because copper is also good conductor of heat, aluminum is also good conductor of heat. Okay, but what heat, I just don't want heat only, I need to absorb the heat from the solar radiation. And we already studied that black color is the very good absorbent. Okay, black color is a perfect black body that we have discussed in the physics, that black body is a device, or black body is a system which will absorb the maximum radiation. So they were painted with the black color so that maximum solar radiations can be absorbed by this as possible for the maximum efficiency. This blackened heat absorbing surface have several parallel copper pipes and tubes called as the risers. Okay, and if you observe this one, this black color surface, on this black color surface you can see that there are number of pipes. Okay, that pipes may be copper pipes or that may be glass tubes. These are called as riser. Through running through way across the plate which contain the heat transfer fluid, typically water. Okay, so this is a typical picture of this one. Okay, this color is normally painted with the black, and these are the tubes through which I am going to circulate my water over there. Okay, so what happen when the solar radiations falls on this one. So this is a glass over there. This glass does not allows the radiation to directly pass through this one. They will just follow on this one. The black color will absorb the maximum radiations, and this will just follow on this. The copper tubes, inside these tubes, they what is passing? The passing is your water. That is the heat transfer fluid over there. Okay, so definitely the temperature by means of conduction, convection, and radiation, the temperature of the fluid which is flowing through these tubes is gone increasing. Okay, so this is the glazing says these are your radiations. This is hot water. This is my cold water which is coming inside, and the water has passed through these tubes. Okay, and then it is going to be collected. If you are going to just, this is placed at certain inclination because the density of the cold water is more and the density of the hot water is lower. So definitely what happen when my cold water comes in, its temperature gone increasing. So as its density is low, it will move in the upward direction, and then it is comes out of this hot tube. Then seal heat enclosure. So this is the complete enclosure which you are going to be sealed. Foam or aluminum insulation. So this is the aluminum insulation, or this is the foam. It act as a insulation. Now why insulation is required? The insulation does not allows the transfer of the heat from inside of your chamber to the outside atmosphere. So for that purpose you are going to use foam or aluminum insulation, just like in case of the thermos. Okay, or say cold water bottle that you are going to use. So in case of thermos, what is there? So thermos is used to maintain the temperature of the inside liquid at low level or hot level, with irrespective of the atmospheric or surrounding temperature. Okay, or in case of the refrigerator मध्ये पण काय आहे, तुमचं एक इन्क्लोजर आहे आणि त्यामध्ये इन्सुलेशनचं असतं, फोमचं इन्सुलेशन असतं किंवा मग त्याच्यामध्ये इन्सुलेशन दिलेलं असतं तुमचं thermocol sheets were like this one. So that does not allows the temperature, okay, exchange of heat between the your refrigerator and the outside body. Okay, heat absorbing rise tubes. These are the riser tubes through which my cold water will come. Then because of the heat, the temperature of the water go on increasing and density decreases. So the low density water will move upward. So these are placed at certain inclinations, and lower magnified collection tubes. So flat plate collectors can heat the fluid inside using either direct or indirect sunlight from a wide range of different angles. So when I am going to use a flat plate collectors, okay, so this flat plate collector can heat the fluid inside using direct or indirect sunlight from the wide range of different angles. They also function in diffuse light. Okay, even though the light condition is less, or even the light is going to be just reflected somewhere, then also it will work, which is dominant on the cloudy days, as it is surrounding heat, as it is the surrounding heat that is being absorbed and not the light, unlike the photovoltaic cell. In case of the diffuse light during the cloudy days or something, heat is there, that heat is going to be absorbed. We are not going to absorb the sunlight over here, we are going to absorb the heat of the sun. How hot the circulating water gets will depend mostly at the time of the year. So during summer you are getting very hot water, during cloudy or monsoon you are getting so water temperature nearly 35-40 degrees centigrade. During summer the temperature of water may be 45, 48, 50 degrees centigrade also. Okay, how clear the skies are and how slowly the water flows through the collector pipe. So the flow rate of the flow of water, then the sunshine, clear sky, these are the factors on which the temperature of the water which is flowing through this one will depend. Now the question which is asked in the exam is like, draw the flat plate collector and explain the working of this one. So this is basically the diagram of the flat plate collector system, in which this is the flat plate collector, then this is the storage tank in which I am going to just put the water, my cold water and the hot water, and this is the circulating pump, as cold water need to be circulated through the system, so I need a circulating pump over here. So a flat plate upon which the short wave radiation fall is absorbed and converted into heat energy. So what is this flat plate? In which on which what happened, my solar radiation will fall. Okay, short wave solar radiation will fall, and these radiations are going to be absorbed in this one, and these radiations are going to be converted into heat energy. Second part is that if you are going to see, this one is the insulation. This is my insulation. the insulated container to eliminate or substantially reduce the thermal loss. So insulation is necessary to reduce the thermal loss from the collection system. One or more plate of the glass. So at the top we are going to see the glass cover. So one or more plate of the glass or transparent plastic to reduce the upward heat loss from the collector surface. Okay, so this glass surface will reduces the heat loss. My insulation also reduces the heat loss thermal losses, and this glass cover also reduces the thermal losses. If I am not going to use the glass cover, what happens? The atmospheric area air comes in contact with the tube, and just as we know that the temperature will always flow from high to low. So whatever the temperature of the water or whatever the temperature of this tube, which is basically less than the temperature of the surrounding air or flowing air, so that my surrounding air will extract the temperature from this tube, and the temperature of this water which is circulating through the tube will decreases. So that will reduces my efficiency. So to avoid that, I am going to just enclose that into the glass cover. Okay, so when it is enclosed with the glass cover, the surrounding air, it does not go inside this chamber, and the thermal losses will decreases. Okay, so that's why the glass cover is very important. If the glass cover is damaged, then you are not proper, you are not getting the hot water. Okay, or the temperature of water will be less, or the efficiency of the system will decreases. Tubes or channels to circulate the liquid required to remove the heat energy from collector to storage tank. And for the basically we require the tubes or waters through which I need to circulate the liquid. Whatever the liquid. In this case, my liquid is a water over here. So I just want to circulate the water through this circulating pump. Now why circulating pump is required? Because the density of the water over here is more. Okay, so if I want to just put it over here, so definitely I need to apply the force, and this force is going to be applied with the help of this pump. So this pump will circulate my cold water into the say flat plate collector system. Here, the because of the temperature of this one, because of the heat which is absorbed in this system, the temperature of the water go on increasing. As the temperature of the water go on increasing, this water's density will decreases, and the density of this decreases, it will move force into the upward direction, and it will, as it is forced into upward direction, then it is going to be collected with the help of the hot output side, and then it is going to be just given to the consumers, or it is collect given to or store into the storage tank over here. Okay, so this is basically working of your flat plate collector system. Now when you are going to discuss this one, my solar power again is going to be converted into two second type of with the second this one solar power. How you are going to just convert? This is the exam question which is asked for in the exam. With the neat skills diagram, explain the working of solar power plant. What is the importance of this plant in present energy uh, crisis in the world? So this is basically, this is my solar connector. Irrespective of this one, this may be a flat plate collector, or this may be a your concentrated collector, but basically for thermal power plant we are going to use the concentrated collector, as the efficiency of the flat plate collector is very low. But if you are going to just keep this part solar collector, that may be a flat plate or that may be anyone. Second part which is very important over is the turbine, and the next one is the generator. So what the function of the turbine? So this solar collector will converts my water into steam, and this steam is going to be forced to the turbine. So that steam causes the rotation of the turbine. As my turbine will rotate, the generator is which is coupled to the shaft of the turbine, that also rotate, and it will convert the mechanical energy into electrical energy. So indirectly I am going to convert the solar energy into electrical energy. Okay, so for conversion of solar energy, the solar energy should be radiate on this incident on the solar connector. Then solar connector use extract the heat from the solar energy. That heat is used to increase the temperature of the water. Then the water is converted into steam. That the steam is used to run the turbine. Then the turbine will rotate. Then the turbine will rotate. At the time generator also rotates, and generator converts the solar energy into electrical energy. Now when you are going to just collect this one, whatever the steam which is coming out of this turbine steam is going to be condensed into the condenser. Okay, so in which cool water comes in and hot water goes in. As we, it will extract the temperature of this one, and then it will just allow to go again to this one solar corrector. So this, with this feed pump, you are going to force this one. As the density of this water, cold water is more, so it is going to be forced over there, and this will again converts, and the same process is going to be repeated. So when I'm going to just consider the basic things, the basic components of the solar power plants, are also exactly identical to the thermal power plant, except boiler is replaced by the solar power collector. So when you are going to discuss the thermal power plant, in thermal power plant we have the boiler. So inside the boiler we are going to burn the coal. That coal is used to increase the temperature of the water, and the water is converted into steam. But in case of your solar power plant, we don't have the boiler. Instead of boiler, we are going to use the flat plate solar collector. That flat plate solar collector will convert the water into steam. Okay, so this is the basic difference that we are going to observe in the thermal power plant and the solar power plant. In thermal power plant we use as the boiler. Inside the boiler we are going to burn either coal or some other element that is used to convert the water into steam. But in case of solar power plant, my flat plate collector or the concentrated collector will directly converts the water into steam. The energy from solar radiation is collected and utilized. So here what I am going to do, I am going to collect the energy from solar radiations to generate a steam to run the steam turbine. Okay, so what you are going to do over here? So we are going to collect the solar radiations. We are going to collect the solar radiations, and we are going to extract the heat of these solar radiations. So after extracting the heat of these solar radiations, what you are going to do? We are going to generate the steam. Okay, how we are going to generate the steam? So whatever this heat, that heat is used to increase the temperature of water, and my water is converted into vapors, and then again it pass through that. So ultimately it is converted into steam, and that steam is used to run the turbine. So for obtaining the reasonable efficiency, okay, so if I want to obtain the reasonable efficiency, concentrated type of collector are used when steam is used as a working fluid. Okay, so if I want to use the steam, so flat plate collectors are not efficient over there. If I am going to use the flat plate collectors over there, unnecessary my area which is used for installing the flat plate collector system is very large. Okay, so instead of using the flat plate collectors, I am going to use a concentrated collectors over here. The cost of concentrating collector is more than the flat plate collector. Definitely what is going to be happen over here? So if you are going to compare the cost, so the cost of concentrated collector is larger. Okay, but at the same time the efficiency will also more. So if you are going to compare with the output, whatever the output which is going to be generated with the help of this flat plate collector, and whatever the output which is generated with the help of this concentrated collector, the concentrated collector will give me nearly 3 to 4 times output as compared to the flat plate collectors. Okay, so the additional cost which is incurred for procuring these concentrated collectors can be recovered within 2 to 3 years. Therefore, new working fluid whose saturation temperature is lower than that of water is considerably high pressures are normally used in this type of power plant. So when you are going to use the concentrated collector, so instead of using water in the concentrated collectors, we are going to use some other liquids whose saturation temperature is lower than that water. Okay, so I can easily use that water at considerably high pressure. Okay, so if I want to just boil the water, I need pressure also, but there are certain fluids which are available in the market if you are going to use that. So with the low pressure also I am going to just convert that temperature, that is particular say liquid into the uh, your saturation steam. But the thermal efficiency of plant is low due to the temperature range. But if you are going to just see the thermal efficiency, so the thermal efficiency of these ones are low due to the low temperature ranges. This is more suitable in rural areas for house lighting. What are the applications? These plants are suitable for rural area where there is a house lighting. Solar radiation does not disturb ecological balance. Now, certain advantages also there. When I'm going to use the solar radiations, my ecological balance does not get disturbed. It is available freely in nature, and water pumping for irrigation purpose. So now you can see that there are n number of market say water pumps are there, solar water pumps are there for irrigation purpose. If I want to live for the agriculture purpose, I need to just water my land. Okay, and nowadays the situation is that in most of the rural area there are 12 to 14 hours blackout. Okay, or 12 to 14 hours power cut is there. This is the normal in Maharashtra. Okay, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Okay, now for nearly 12 to 14 hours we are not getting the power in rural area, so it is quite difficult for them. Even they have the water, they are not able to circulate the water to the um, crops. So for that purpose, what is the solution? The solution is that the government has given the subsidies, and government has given the just certain initiative, taken the initiative to install the solar water pumping system for the irrigation purpose. And one of the pioneer in that is the Jain irrigation, Jain pumps, Jain solar pumps available in the market. There are n number of players, but Jain solar pump is quite popular. Okay, so as solar energy is easily available, freely available, this is the one time investment, and once you have installed the system will last for nearly 15 to 25 years. Okay, so definitely it has a one time investment is more, but the running cost is negligible, no running cost. It is non depleting source, so this is the most important thing. Whatever the energy I am going to use, solar energy मी किती जरी यूज केली तर ती कमी होणार नाहीये. Okay, and otherwise it is going to be wasted. So if I am going to use, so it is a non depleting, किती यूज केली तरी ती राहणारच आहे, कंटिन्यूअस येणारच आहे. So for the next 5 to 5 billion years that solar energy is available to me. So it is one of the renewable means which is a non depleting source of energy, which is continuously, which is forever source of energy for the human being. Okay, so these are the some things that we are going to discuss over here. In the next lecture we are going to discuss